The Law of Perpetual Transmutation. Transforming Energy, Transforming Life. Ciro Irmici. Copyright 2024 Ciro Irmici. All rights reserved. Introduction. Imagine for a moment that every thought, every emotion, and every action you take is a ripple of energy, shaping and reshaping the world around you. You are not just a passive observer of life, you are an active creator, continually influencing your reality with the energy you carry. This is the heart of the law of perpetual transmutation of energy, a powerful universal principle that reminds us that everything is in constant motion, constantly evolving, and capable of transformation. But what does that really mean for you? The law of perpetual transmutation teaches that energy is never static. It is always changing, and more importantly, it can change at your will. Just like a river carving its path through a landscape, energy flows continuously and can be directed toward new outcomes. This universal law isn't just a mystical idea floating in the abstract. It's a force you can harness to transform every aspect of your life. Whether you're dealing with challenging emotions, struggling in relationships, or facing obstacles in your career, the ability to shift negative energy into positive outcomes is always within your grasp. You may feel stuck, weighed down by circumstances beyond your control, but in truth, you hold the power to transmute your reality, starting from the inside out. This book is designed to guide you on a journey of transformation. It will help you understand the science and spirituality behind energy transmutation and give you practical tools to implement these concepts in your day-to-day life. Through the wisdom of this universal law, you'll learn to recognize the energy patterns that shape your experiences, master your own energy, and create the life you desire. In the chapters ahead, we will explore how energy shifts affect everything, from your relationships to your health, from your career to your spiritual growth. Each chapter offers actionable steps to help you shift your energy in real, tangible ways. Whether you are manifesting new goals or seeking to heal old wounds, the principles in this book will show you how to take control of your energy, align with higher vibrations, and transform any situation into one of growth and empowerment. Energy is always moving. It is always changing. And with the knowledge you'll gain in this book, you will discover how to direct that energy to flow in a way that enhances your life. As you embrace the practice of perpetual transmutation, you'll come to realize that you are more powerful than you ever imagined. So, are you ready to start transforming your energy and your life? The flow of universal energy. Everything around you is made of energy. From the sunlight that brightens your morning to the thoughts running through your mind, energy is the fundamental building block of life. But what truly sets this energy in motion? And how can we use the natural flow of universal energy to transform our lives? To understand the law of perpetual transmutation, we must first grasp how energy operates in the universe. At its core, this law teaches us that energy is in constant motion, always shifting from one form to another. It flows through every living being, every atom, and every thought, creating the fabric of the reality we experience. The incredible truth is that this flow can be consciously directed, giving us the power to transform our circumstances and our lives. The nature of energy flow: the universe is not static, and neither are we. At every moment, the energy within us and around us is changing. On a physical level, this idea is reflected in the first law of thermodynamics, which states that energy cannot be created or destroyed, it can only change forms. For example, the energy in food is transformed into movement and heat in the human body. In the same way, emotional, mental, and spiritual energy can be shifted, allowing us to move from states of negativity or stagnation into those of positivity and growth. However, this flow of energy doesn't happen randomly. It follows the natural rhythms of life, cycling through phases of creation, transformation, and release. Like the tide that rises and falls, energy follows a pattern. When we learn to work with these patterns, we align ourselves with the natural flow of the universe, allowing for easier transitions and more seamless changes in our lives. Recognizing energy patterns in daily life, think about a time when you felt stuck. Maybe you were trying to solve a problem at work, or perhaps a relationship was at a standstill. You might have felt like nothing was changing, no matter how hard you tried to improve the situation. What you were likely experiencing was energy that had stagnated. Just as water left undisturbed will eventually become still, energy that isn't actively transformed tends to get stuck. The beauty of the law of perpetual transmutation is that it shows us how to unstick that energy. By recognizing the patterns in our daily lives, whether it's the flow of our emotions, the dynamics of our relationships, or the energy behind our actions, we can begin to understand where and how to make shifts. Take a moment to observe your own energy. Do you feel energized or are you drained? Are you optimistic, or does negativity cloud your thoughts? These emotional states are more than just feelings. They are vibrational frequencies that you emit into the world. When your energy vibrates at a lower frequency, you may attract more negative experiences. Conversely, when your energy is elevated, you become a magnet for positive outcomes. The key is to become aware of these patterns, recognizing when your energy is flowing smoothly and when it has become stagnant. This awareness is the first step toward transformation. How energy interacts with everything around us. Another essential aspect of this law is the understanding that your personal energy is always interacting with the energy of the people, places, and things around you. Consider a time when you've walked into a room and instantly felt a change in mood. Perhaps the atmosphere was tense, or conversely, it felt joyful and uplifting. That's because the energy in that environment was influencing your own. This energetic exchange happens constantly, whether we are aware of it or not. And just as you are affected by the energy around you, you also have the power to affect it. When you take charge of your own energy, raising it to a higher frequency, you can influence the energies in your environment, transforming negative spaces into positive ones. For example, think about the energy of gratitude. When you focus on what you're grateful for, you elevate your vibrational frequency, and this higher energy can spread to others. Likewise, when you allow fear or anger to dominate your emotional state, those around you may begin to feel that lower vibrational energy. Learning to consciously direct your energy helps you maintain control over the influence you have on your surroundings. Harnessing energy to transform your life. So how can you begin harnessing this constant flow of energy? The process starts with awareness and intention. By paying attention to your emotional and physical states, you can start to notice where energy is stuck or flowing freely. From there, you can set intentions to shift that energy in the direction you want to go. One of the simplest but most powerful tools you can use to begin shifting your energy is mindfulness. By becoming present and aware of your current emotional state, you can start to recognize when your energy is in need of transmutation. For example, if you notice yourself feeling anxious or frustrated, pause for a moment. Take deep breaths and bring your awareness to the present. This simple act of mindfulness begins the process of shifting your energy from a state of stress to one of calm. Additionally, practices like meditation, visualization, and affirmations can help you transmute energy over time. These practices allow you to focus on higher vibrational states, such as peace, gratitude, or love. And as you consistently tune into these energies, you begin to shift the overall vibration of your life. Key takeaway: energy is always flowing, and it's your awareness and actions that determine whether it moves in a direction that supports your growth. By recognizing energy patterns in your daily life and practicing mindfulness, you can begin to direct the flow of energy toward positivity, productivity, and personal transformation. The science of energy transformation. While the law of perpetual transmutation is often discussed in spiritual terms, it also aligns with scientific principles, particularly those related to energy. Understanding the science behind energy transformation helps us bridge the gap between the physical and metaphysical realms, empowering us to see how thoughts, emotions, and actions can shift reality. Energy at the quantum level, at the smallest level of existence, the universe operates according to the principles of quantum physics. Everything we perceive as solid, our bodies, objects around us, even the air we breathe, is made up of atoms, and these atoms are composed of energy. When you zoom into the quantum level, you see that matter is actually not solid at all, but rather a swirling, vibrating mass of energy. In quantum physics, particles of energy, like electrons, don't behave in a fixed or predictable way. They exist in a state of potential. They can exist in multiple places at once, and their position is not determined until they are observed. This phenomenon is known as the observer effect, which essentially states that conscious observation can affect how energy behaves. This idea parallels the law of perpetual transmutation, because it suggests that energy responds to our focus and intention. Just as a particle can change when observed, the energy of your thoughts and emotions can shift based on what you choose to focus on. This scientific principle gives weight to the idea that we can influence the energy around us and within us, transforming it through intention and awareness. Thoughts as energy. It's important to recognize that thoughts are not passive. They too are made of energy and carry their own vibrational frequency. Every time you think, you're sending out energetic signals that influence not only your mind, but also your surroundings. Positive thoughts, such as gratitude, love, and joy, have higher vibrational frequencies. They make you feel light, empowered, and open to possibilities. On the other hand, negative thoughts, such as fear, anger, and jealousy, vibrate at lower frequencies, often making you feel heavy, drained, or blocked. The more you focus on a particular type of thought, the more you reinforce its vibrational frequency. This is why repetitive negative thinking can lead to patterns of negative energy in your life. But the good news is that by shifting your thoughts, you can change the energy you attract and experience. The role of emotions in energy transmutation. Emotions are the energetic output of our thoughts. When you think a positive thought, it generates a positive emotional response, and the same is true for negative thoughts. Emotions are essentially energy in motion, and they play a crucial role in how we interact with the world. Here's where the concept of energy transmutation becomes powerful. You can change your emotions by changing your thoughts. If you're feeling anxious or upset, it's likely because your mind is focusing on thoughts that lower your vibration. By consciously shifting your focus to more empowering thoughts, you can elevate your emotional state. For example, when you're feeling anxious, try interrupting that thought pattern by focusing on something you're grateful for. Gratitude is one of the highest vibrational states, and even the act of thinking about something you appreciate can quickly shift your energy. This concept is supported by modern psychology as well. Cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, one of the most widely used forms of therapy, is built on the principle that thoughts influence emotions. By changing unhelpful thoughts, we can alter emotional patterns and behaviors. Science and spirituality converge here, showing us that the power to transmute energy is very much within our control. Energy in motion. Actions and their vibrational impact. While thoughts and emotions form the foundation of your energy, actions are the next step in the process of transmutation. Every action you take carries energy, which either reinforces or shifts your current vibrational state. Let's look at an example. Imagine you're having a difficult day at work. Your thoughts are negative, your emotions are low, and you feel stuck. However, if you take a small action, like taking a few deep breaths, stepping outside for a quick walk, or simply reordering your desk, you can interrupt the energy flow. These small, intentional actions can start to shift your mood and change the energetic pattern of your day. This is why inspired action is such a key part of manifestation and energy transmutation. By taking even small steps, you signal to the universe and yourself that you are ready for change. These actions have a ripple effect, leading to larger shifts over time. Practical techniques for shifting energy. Now that we've explored how thoughts, emotions, and actions are interconnected forms of energy, let's dive into some practical techniques you can use to start transforming your energy. 1. Mindful breathing. Breathwork is one of the simplest yet most effective ways to shift your energy. When you focus on your breath, you bring your awareness to the present moment, calming the mind and regulating your emotions. Start with slow, deep breaths. Inhale for a count of 4, hold for 4, and exhale for 4. Repeat this cycle until you feel a shift in your energy. 2. Gratitude practice. As mentioned earlier, gratitude is one of the most powerful ways to elevate your vibration. Make a habit of listing at least 3 things you're grateful for each day. The more you focus on what you appreciate, the more you invite higher vibrational energy into your life. 3. Visualization. Visualization is a tool used by athletes, performers, and spiritual practitioners alike to direct energy toward a desired outcome. Close your eyes and vividly imagine the result you want to achieve. Feel the emotions you'd experience if that result were already true. By embodying this energy in your mind, you start aligning your vibration with your goal. 4. Energy clearing. Sometimes, energy becomes stuck in our physical space or bodies. Practicing energy clearing techniques, such as smudging with sage, meditation, or using crystals like clear quartz or amethyst, can help cleanse stagnant energy and bring in fresh positive vibrations. 5. Affirmations. Affirmations are positive statements that help rewire your subconscious mind. Choose affirmations that resonate with you and repeat them daily. For example, I am constantly growing and transforming, or I attract positive energy into my life. These statements reinforce higher vibrations in your thoughts and emotions. Bringing it all together, the law of perpetual transmutation of energy teaches us that energy is always in motion, constantly changing from one form to another. By understanding that our thoughts, emotions, and actions are all forms of energy, we can begin to harness this movement and direct it toward positive transformation. Science and spirituality both point to the idea that we are active participants in the flow of energy. By consciously shifting our focus, practicing mindfulness, and taking inspired action, we can transmute negative energy into positive outcomes and create the life we desire. Key takeaway: understanding the science behind energy transformation gives us the tools to actively shape our reality. Through mindfulness, intention, and action, we can transmute lower vibrational energy into higher states, aligning ourselves with the positive flow of the universe. Mastering your inner energy. At the core of the law of perpetual transmutation is the idea that you hold the power to transform the energy within you. Energy isn't something external, it's something that flows through you, influenced by your thoughts, emotions, and actions. Mastering your inner energy means learning how to consciously guide this flow, transmuting it from lower states like fear, frustration, or doubt into higher states of peace, clarity, and empowerment. Identifying stagnant energy, when left unchecked, can become stagnant. Stagnant energy is the feeling of being stuck, emotionally, mentally, or even physically. We've all experienced moments where no matter how hard we try, things just won't move forward. These are often the times when your energy is blocked or caught in a repetitive loop, and the key to breaking free is awareness. Take a moment to check in with yourself. Are there areas in your life that feel stuck? Maybe you've been feeling frustrated in a relationship, or perhaps you're finding it hard to make progress on a personal goal. These are signs that your inner energy is no longer flowing freely. The first step in mastering your energy is becoming aware of where it's stagnating. Awareness is crucial because without it, energy remains on autopilot, repeating old patterns. You may feel like life is happening to you, rather than being an active participant. But once you recognize the areas where energy is stagnant, you can begin to shift it. Embracing emotional mastery. One of the most powerful ways to transmute energy is through emotional mastery. Emotions are the driving force behind the energy we put into the world. They dictate how we react to situations, how we treat ourselves, and how we interact with others. When emotions are left unregulated, they can cause chaos, draining your energy and lowering your vibration. However, when you learn to work with your emotions consciously, you can elevate your energy and shift into higher states of being. Imagine a day where everything seems to go wrong. Your mood sours, and soon you're spiraling into frustration or anger. In that moment, your emotions are controlling you, dragging your energy down with them. But what if, instead of reacting impulsively, you took a step back and observed your emotions without judgment? By doing this, you can create a space where you decide how to respond, rather than being a victim of your emotional state. Emotional mastery isn't about denying or suppressing your feelings. In fact, it's the opposite. It's about acknowledging your emotions, understanding them, and then choosing how to engage with them. When you practice this kind of awareness, you begin to realize that emotions are temporary, like passing clouds, and you have the ability to shift them. For example, when fear or doubt arises, you can choose to acknowledge it without letting it take control. You might ask yourself, what is this fear trying to tell me? How can I transmute this energy into something more productive? By shifting your perspective, you change the emotional charge behind the situation, allowing the energy to flow more freely. The power of reframing your thoughts, closely tied to emotional mastery, is the power of reframing your thoughts. Your thoughts create the lens through which you view the world, and this lens directly affects the energy you emit. Negative or limiting thoughts keep your energy stuck in lower vibrational states, while positive, empowering thoughts help your energy rise. Think about a situation where you felt overwhelmed or defeated. Your thoughts in those moments might have sounded something like, "I'll never get through this," or "I'm not good enough." These kinds of thoughts perpetuate feelings of hopelessness and drain your energy further. However, by consciously choosing to reframe these thoughts, you can shift the way energy moves through you. Instead of focusing on what's going wrong or what feels impossible, try asking yourself, "What can I learn from this?" or "How can I grow from this experience?" Shifting your thoughts in this way allows you to move from a place of resistance to one of openness. When you reframe your perspective, the energy that was once blocked by negative thoughts begins to move, creating space for new possibilities. Reframing isn't about forcing positivity or ignoring challenges. It's about expanding your perspective, recognizing that every situation has the potential for growth, and allowing that understanding to transform the energy you carry. Transmuting fear into action. One of the most common emotions that holds energy stagnant is fear. Fear can paralyze us, preventing us from taking action, pursuing our dreams, or even living fully in the moment. But fear is also a form of energy, and like any energy, it can be transmuted. The secret to transmuting fear is to transform it into action. Fear often signals that we are stepping outside of our comfort zone, which means there is an opportunity for growth on the other side. When you feel fear rising, instead of letting it stop you, use it as fuel to propel you forward. For instance, if you're afraid of failure, instead of avoiding the challenge, take one small action that moves you toward your goal. This breaks the cycle of stagnation and shows your subconscious mind that fear doesn't have to dictate your actions. Each time you do this, you retrain your mind to see fear not as a barrier, but as a signal that transformation is possible. By consistently taking action in the face of fear, you begin to shift your energy from one of paralysis to one of empowerment. Fear no longer drains your energy. Instead, it becomes the catalyst for movement and change. Aligning with higher vibrational states, as you master your inner energy, it's important to recognize that everything you do, every thought, every emotion, every action, either raises or lowers your vibration. Lower vibrational states, such as fear, anger, or resentment, keep your energy stagnant. In contrast, higher vibrational states like love, gratitude, and joy create flow and attract positive outcomes into your life. The more you align with higher vibrations, the more you allow the universal flow of energy to support you. This doesn't mean you'll never experience negative emotions, but it does mean that you'll have the tools to transmute those emotions quickly and return to a place of alignment. One powerful way to align with higher vibrations is through daily intention setting. Each morning, take a few moments to set an intention for how you want to show up in the world that day. Whether it's being more present, practicing gratitude, or approaching challenges with a sense of calm, your intention sets the tone for how energy will flow through you. As you practice this, you'll begin to notice that your energy shifts more easily, and you'll start to experience more synchronicities, moments when the universe seems to align in your favor. This is the result of living in harmony with the law of perpetual transmutation. As you consistently shift your energy toward higher vibrations, the universe responds by bringing more positive energy into your life. Key takeaway: mastering your inner energy requires awareness, emotional regulation, and the conscious choice to shift your thoughts and actions. By embracing these practices, you can move from a place of stagnation to one of flow, empowering yourself to create the life you desire.